Jason, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just saw your message about check the settings and then the audio. Let's see
Yeah,
here.
on there, just check, see what it's saying on there, and you'll be able to adjust from that point.
Hey, I'm Amanda from Trifecta Fitness. We're proud to be Clarksville's new Get Fit headquarters. Trifecta Fitness is a state-of-the-art spin and strength training studio. Our spin studio is truly one of a kind in this area, complete with 20 state-of-the-art live fitness bikes and an incredible sound system. Our strength training is done in small groups of 6 or fewer, and all of our strength and spin classes are scalable for every level of experience. Come see us in the heart of Clarksville, just behind MAPCO at the corner of Old Trenton Road and Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. Call us for more info at 931-542-6265 or download our Trifecta Fitness app for a full list of upcoming classes.
In October 2019, Arlington, Texas was chosen to be the home of a new national museum, unlike any other. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a unique home of military history. The 100,000 square foot museum will house exhibits, archives, and artifacts relating to the 3,500 U.S. troops who have been awarded the medal, the nation's highest honor for valor in combat. The museum will have 31,000 square feet of galleries dedicated to U.S. troops who have received the award. The museum CEO, former Navy SEAL and NASA astronaut Chris Cassidy, said the museum will focus on education as much as preservation. The building will have 5 areas dedicated to Medal of Honor winners from the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. The main gallery will be located in a central plaza under a 25,000 square foot slab of steel, which will appear to be suspended in midair. It will be supported by 5 pillars. Black Rifle Coffee is a corporate sponsor of the museum, as are the Dallas Cowboys. The museum's board also includes over a dozen major corporations and 6 Medal of Honor recipients, including David Bellavia, Patrick Brady, and Britt Slabinski. Army Staff Sergeant Bellavia was awarded the medal for clearing an entire house by himself on November 10, 2004, as a squad leader in support of Operation Phantom Fury in Fallujah, Iraq. He killed 4 enemy fighters and wounded a 5th in close quarters battle. Army Major General Brady flew and coordinated the evacuation of 51 seriously wounded men during a firefight in Vietnam in January 1968. Slabinski, a Navy SEAL chief and team leader, led a rescue team of SEALs during Operation Anaconda in Afghanistan in March 2002. Slabinski and his team flew to a mountaintop ambush site to rescue Petty Officer First Class Neil Roberts, who had fallen from the back of a helicopter. Slabinski led the team through almost constant combat against an entrenched Taliban force. Along with the board members, former presidents Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama serve as honorary directors. The museum is expected to open to the public in late 2024.
All right. Welcome back. MisFitNation. We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their story to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with MisFitNation. If you're a musician or actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share some of your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you're a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and share how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and just share your story with the Misfit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or are embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you're a new listener, welcome to the Misfit Nation. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast apps and also on our YouTube channel at _Misfit Nation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date with our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show. All right, welcome back to the Misfit Nation. Our Thursday after dinner show is live. Sorry for the technical difficulties at the beginning. We were wrestling with some audio issues on both sides, mine and the guest side. But that just means that we'll be able to have a good show moving forward. Again, our thoughts are with those who are fighting in the Middle East right now in Israel and fighting for their homelands and trying to beat down the Hamas terrorists as they have kidnapped many and killed many women and children, beheading children. It's not a pleasant fight, so keep that in your thoughts. It's not all the Palestinians; it's Hamas and Hezbollah that are doing this. So don't go out and do anything crazy against anyone you know that's from Palestine or from Lebanon. It is those who are in the militant organizations that are doing this, and they will be dealt with by Israel and, of course, their friends and family. But for tonight, we have a decorated combat veteran coming to see us. With multiple deployments, he served 31 years in the United States Army as both enlisted and officer, including 9 years overseas in 5 countries. He earned over 30 service awards and badges and survived a wicked amount of military training. He has written 2 books, A Soldier Against All Odds, compiling all his life events in an inspiring storytelling format with the ups and downs of life in uniform, and out of the uniform back into civilian life. An invaluable resource for veterans seeking clear, actionable guidance to navigate the often complex landscape of VA benefits. So without further ado, let's welcome Jason Pike to the Misfit Nation. Welcome, Jason.
Hey, Rich. How you doing?
Now I can't hear you. Now I got you. Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you.
All right, gotcha. So, Jason, how are you?
I am doing fine, Rich, here in San Antonio, Texas. So how's it going on your side?
It's pretty good here, just outside of Nashville. San Antonio is nice this time of year. It's not as hot as it was last month, hopefully, and hopefully you're able to breathe a little better outside. The humidity is as well.
Yeah, sure am.
So, Jason, I gave a brief overview of who Jason is right there. If you don't mind, go a little more in depth about as far back as you want to go. I don't think you have to go the whole 30 years back, but as far back as you want to go to how we got to where we are now.
Okay, I grew up in Georgia and in South Carolina. I'm a Southern guy by birth and by being raised. And in the earliest years of my life in Georgia growing up, I was considered a disabled learner. I failed the first grade, and English and writing are my worst subjects, no doubt, even though I got some best-selling books out there. I definitely had a whole lot of help, but no, I was identified 3 different times by professionals saying, you ain't right. Something's going on here academically, and it is. And I do struggle on that side of the fence academically. Physically, growing up, I had osteomyelitis. So a good question might be, how in the hell did you get into the damn Army? Because you got to be physically fit and got to have some sort of brains up there in your skull somewhere. Well, I joined the National Guard in the very beginning, and my entrance, I don't know the answer to how the hell I got into the military, but I did. I think they just slid me on through. I think they just needed some numbers, and I got into field artillery, 13 Bravo.
Physically growing up,
and then also physically, I lied to them. I told them I was fine, and I worked on my legs and things of that nature, and this was way before the internet where they could check. And so I kind of slid in to the military as a private, 17-year-old private. I didn't even have a high school diploma at that time. So that's kind of how the early years started. Pretty rocky there.
That definitely is a rocky start, especially getting told that you're not going to learn well and things like that as a youth, especially first grade. And my God, that's got to be rough coming out of first grade, getting told that and failing first grade at that much. But by teachers in the South, especially, I'm sure they were very kind. They were kind about it, saying bless your heart, and then pushing you forward, and then saying you'll be the next teacher's problem at that time.
Yeah, well, I did the best I could academically. You know, my mom and my father, they, like any other parent, they really stress the importance of education. But I've got 3 college degrees, but it was pretty much verified that was not going to be in the play set. In other words, I might get into the military, or I might be in agriculture, maybe work at a bait and tackle shop of some sort, or do agricultural work. But really being a professional and rising up through the ranks was definitely nowhere, not just the military, but nowhere it was in the horizons at all in my teenage years. And even a lot of the kids in the family, when they saw me, getting promoted through the ranks in the military, they're like, what the hell is Jason doing? How in the hell did that dumbass like him do all this? That was kind of their thoughts. And I'm not knocking them. There was some logical thought behind that, but I just kept moving forward, and I kept going and doing the best I could everywhere I went. So that's kind of how that started and how that went on.
Yeah, definitely. And it's good that you kept fighting and were able to join the military at 17 years old as an enlisted man. You said 13 Bravo?
Yeah, field artillery, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Yeah, 13 Bravo. Yep.
Full lanyard, go boom. Yeah, gotcha.
That was no joke. I mean, I nearly got kicked out in the first 3 weeks. I was not able to drink the damn water coming out of the fire hose. It was coming out too fast. Go here, go there, do this. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And they have pretty much like picked up at this guy. Yeah, he ain't getting it together. And I wasn't. There was a lot of things, and they don't do this in the military, but there's a story in my book where they sent the sorriest 2 privates, me and another guy, to a criminal correctional facility. It was not that we did anything criminal. It was more of a motivational, scared straight type of a deal, where it was a different level of hell than basic training. And we went in there, went through obstacle courses and all kinds of hell, and came out all bloodied and broken up. And that kind of straightened me out a bit. In other words, made me even become a little bit more motivated, maybe more wired, more tight than others. But that story of going into that facility, they don't have it anymore. It was at Fort Sill. That was a facility of hells on wheels, and it was basically a drug deal with the sergeants. Let's just send these guys over here and scare the shit out of them. And not only that, beat them up a little bit and have them come back to the platoon and maybe improve the entire other platoon as guinea pigs, as if they're going to go next. But so that was just, I did survive. I did get through basic training, Fort Sill, 13 weeks between my junior and senior year of high school. I was a little older because I had failed the first grade. And I came back totally changed, and I didn't know what was going on in my mind at the time, but I thought that I could do a whole lot more. And I may have to start at the bottom, like go to a junior college, somewhere, they could take anybody who was lame, lazy, or crazy, and they could forget all the grades and all the other things. And that's kind of how I did it. I just kind of went slower in education, and I just step by step by step. And then, because to me, it was getting that college degree, what was going to be, I wanted to become an officer. I just didn't know how. I didn't know what to do, how. ROTC, I did find a way that way, but I just had to go slower with it because you got to have a degree. You got to have a college degree. And I did get a college degree, but it wasn't anything technical. It was something easy. It was education. And I was on the 5-year plan or so, but I did that as a reservist. The National Guard, this was at the bottom. National Guard, well, they used to call us nasty girls, NGs, no-goes. And, and then I eventually transferred out of that and went on to ROTC, and then went in and got my commission and went on to active duty. And those were the beginning years of enlisted into the officership and then into active duty.
I remember here at Fort Campbell in the 90s, they still had something. There was like near D-Cell where they would send soldiers that were having issues with adjusting, and they would learn them. They would learn them some stuff there in D-Cell, and they'd come back as better soldiers. Some of them wound up being sergeant majors after that. So that's a move up, I guess. But they taught them some things in that D-Cell here.
Okay, yeah, they just put a lot of hell on me. We made big rocks into small rocks and screamed and yelled at a different level, and it was just a grueling. Basically, it was a 4-hour course where it was just hell. And he had identified me and as being a slow learner, just not being able to get it, adjusting, like you said, it was adjustment. I mean, I would get up in the middle of the night from some damn dream and be standing out on the parade field at 2:00 in the morning at attention. And I shouldn't have been out there. I was so wired. It was just, I was just not adjusting. I was just wondering, my mind was just racing. And even when I was sleeping, I was in stress. And but I did make it out of there, and just, by the skin of my chin. And I thought that once I got out of there, I definitely could do some more things. It's going to take me a while. Yeah.
It's a different road when someone identifies you as that, and they wanted to help you at least. They didn't want to put you out, which was some people's course of action at that time too. Just to give up on someone and push them away. We don't want to help them. Let's get rid of them. Put them back in the civilian world. But at least they put you kind of in the civilian world and learned just some things that brought you back. I know later in your career you had I guess a lot of fingers pointed at you for things you didn't do, and you were put into the grind. You were put in the grind. That was, I guess, towards the end of your career. I guess this happened.
That was towards the end of my career. Yeah, we could go straight there. I was a senior guy. I was under a federal investigation for espionage and subversion against the U.S. government, which, I mean, I'll admit to you in my book what I did do that was screwed up and things that I adjustment things. But there's things in the military called there's gaslighting, being thrown under the bus. I never thought these things would occur in the military. It totally blindsided me to be thrown under the bus. So I was in South Korea. I was there. I had been to South Korea 3 different times for tours. That's a tour of duty, a place that we go to. And so I was very familiar with the job and the land. I was a lieutenant colonel. There were some people, there's politics in the military as well. And there's people that have turf. And if you don't walk the walk according to some people, and they have their turf. They had a particular person who really wanted to do research papers and things of that nature in the medical field. I sort of disagreed to do that. That wasn't my strength anyway. I told him and some other people that I didn't want to do that. And I felt my strengths were more leadership and things of that, administration and things of that nature. But the bottom line is I was facing a lot of bullshit accusations. Okay. That federal investigation, that was a formal investigation, but they tried a few things on me in that chapter that I wrote about. The first thing is they put a rumor out through the garrison that I was a damn pedophile. And now I did, that didn't work. So that was just a rumor they wanted to throw around to see what they could do to get me out. They wanted me out of South Korea. They wanted me out of that job. They really wanted me out of the damn Army. And, I did have a daughter. She went to the Seoul Elementary School, the elementary school on post, and I did go eat lunch with her and things. And I was a playful father, but it wasn't a pedophile. Once that didn't happen, and once that didn't work, later on, I give them credit. They changed it up. Then I went through formal investigation of subversion and espionage against the U.S. government. That's where CID, Criminal Investigation Division, got involved, and military intelligence, and it was total bullshit. But people followed me around, computer crashes, monitoring, just various. My security clearance was challenged, but it was I've maintained my security clearance. I went through a whole series of bullshit for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years during that time. My name was mud. It became mud pretty much to the higher level people that manage you, that put you in places around the world, around wherever you are assigned to. So I became like a mud. They didn't know what to do with me because they'd heard so much crap. Is he a pedophile? Is he a freaking spy or this or that? And I'm sure they heard there was a lot of things. And so, so that's what happened. And my stress level went to the highest. I've been to Afghanistan. I've been to El Salvador. Like I said, I've lived in a lot of different places, and I've been around. I've jumped out of airplanes, been in the special operations group for a while. So I had done a whole lot of things before then. I had a pretty good record. But that was the most stressful time that I've ever had, was my own people being thrown under the bus by the own people that you're actually working with. And I would rather go to Afghanistan or be shot at any time than go through what I just went through with that investigation. But a lot of these things. So when you're in the military or the government, what have you, you're pretty much set. I mean, you got to kill somebody to actually, be thrown out. You have to do something really wicked. But they can try to transfer you out. They can throw rumors out and accusations out, and and then try to see what they can do to get you out of there. And so that's what they were doing. And it was hard. I just stayed with it, and I went through that investigation. Everything was clean. It was good, and maintained my security clearance. But that was a deep, dark time. And a lot of people will say, well, what about Afghanistan? And well, my shirt here is combat vet. One of my sergeants gave me this from Afghanistan. But I would go to Afghanistan anytime than having to go through a bunch of bullshit investigation stuff that I didn't do. So,
I think you can ask any combat veteran, to the man or woman, where they had the most fun in the military, and it's not in garrison. It was when they were deployed overseas, and they had to rely on the person to the right and left. And yes, was it tense? Hell yeah! But was there times when you just had a great time just hanging out with your best friends, basically, and your family? Yeah. And it's best, and everything is much more simple when you're overseas in combat deployment. Korea. I also was there 3 times. When you said 3 times, woo, me too. Another 3-timer, good. But it's a fishbowl. Korea is basically a fishbowl for the military, and if you're swimming in that fishbowl and see when someone doesn't like you, like what happened to you, basically, the arrows start going at you, and every time you swim around, another arrow comes at you until they, like you said, they try to get you out of there. They try to push you out, and thankfully you're still here with us, and you're not. They didn't make it stick anyway, or fake it till they made it, but thankfully you were able to fight.
Yeah, very hard time. A lot of people ask me what would I have done different, what they can learn from this. It might be in the corporate world. I mean, if you can write the details down of what's going on around you, the details don't lie. And if you could do that, well, for me, I was under so much stress that I could not even write a complete sentence. I did a little bit of that, but it's sort of, you're in a survival mode, and for the most part, and you've got your eyes in the back of your head, and you're wondering what's going on, and you're in a high level of anxiety, a prolonged state of anxiety and stress. That's where my post-traumatic stress started from. It wasn't Afghanistan. It was in that damn, like you say, it's a fishbowl. It was a fishbowl, and so that's where it started at. That was the first time I sought mental health, was there, and as a lieutenant colonel, when it was not popular, especially among officers, to go to mental health counseling. But that I had to do something. There's a few things that you could do. You could write down the details and give them to some people that are trusted in the organization and that you trust. It could be a chaplain, not that you're going to get spiritual help, but the chaplain has special privileges to the command. It could be to the inspector general. not because they're going to do an investigation it's because they have special privileges to the command. Or it could be to a medical official. You could tell a medical person, hey, I'm under so much, this is what's going on. These are the details. And they could slip, a word into the higher level command. So, because you have to go through the chain of command. But my damn chain of command was all fucked up. It's like the people above me were fucked up. So I can't go around that. I have to. But you can go to other avenues. Maybe in the police. Maybe there's quality control people somewhere or in your organization. But I think if I could have gone with details to the chaplain in hindsight, or to the IG, Inspector General, I think that would have helped me out a little bit more than just trying to survive for a long period of time and not get much help from the organization.
And you were in Seoul. What, if you don't mind, what were you there? What did this occur? I mean,
I was there 3 times. That last time I was there from 2007 to 2010. I was there 3 years on that last tour that I had.
I was there 8 to 10, so I was there the same time as you. I was right there with the Signal Brigade in Seoul.
Yeah.
So I was the first Signal Brigade
on the top of that Dragon Hill Lodge. That's where they put that's where they started my investigation up on. I think it's right above there, above military intelligence on the Dragon Hill, and that's where my command, full colonel, 18th Medcom commander, and me and CID and MI all were there to be briefed on bullshit that I didn't do, and where more importantly, I had to survive the investigation that never mounted anything.
Exactly, and you missed out on, you had to deal with all that instead of being able to take your family around the country. You probably were blacklisted from everything, had to stay on post and stuff. So that's really horrible. And I'm glad, like I said earlier, I'm glad you were able to fight through it. And I was definitely there for at least 2 of the years during this incident. So it's amazing how our paths always cross in the military.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that's I was there in Seoul, right there at the right Yongsan Garrison. Yep. Yeah.
I lived down in Hanamdong. That's where I lived.
You were a little bit off post. I was up on the hill near E21 Acres near the gas station. That's where
I know where you were. Yeah, first I was up there in Uijianbu. My family stayed down there, and then the brigade brought me down to the brigade level, so I can be with them. So it was nice of them. So I mean, after that, I'm sure you came back to the States and did you process out right after that, or did you take a little while to get cleared up and retire?
I stayed on a little longer. What I did is I went from there. I basically went back to the States and picked up a command for Afghanistan. I picked up a detachment command in Afghanistan. I think this was a time when I got redeemed. When I came back, like you said, from that federal investigation, my mind I didn't know what the hell happened. At the same time, my father died. And then when my father died, Jesus. I was in the process of going to Afghanistan. I had a 1, 2, 3 punch. One was that federal investigation, and more. There's more to that chapter than that. There was other stuff. And then my dad died. I was back in the States. And then I'm going to Afghanistan. Afghanistan to me was it was a way to get redeemed. I felt I could get redeemed if I do well. And I did extra well. We did very well over there. But when I was in Afghanistan, I was fighting the memory of the federal investigation. I was fighting my father, and I was grieving my father in a war zone. In many ways, in Afghanistan, I had a death wish. I was not scared at all. I was kind of like hoping to get killed. That's not good, but my mind state was not right at that time. And I just said, I'm just going to take care of my soldiers, and maybe I'll get redeemed out of here. I'm in the depth of hell. I'm in Afghanistan, but it was one of those situations where I said I wasn't scared. Let's do it. Let's get this stuff going on. Let's do this tour. And because I'd already been through hell, so Afghanistan really wasn't nothing to me because of my mind state. And I did. We did really well. I got the Bronze Star, but more importantly, that's the best evaluation I ever had. In many ways, I was running off of adrenaline, and I was wanting to get back. in a way. I was like, I'm going to get back. I'm going to do well. If there was a way for me to go kill the Taliban with my own damn shit, I would have done it. I was like, because I need experience. I'll just go out there and do stuff. And I was going to make a mark there, come back, and I did. We did well. Took a toll on me. Took a big toll on me. There's no doubt. And it was more of the other stuff that went on before then. Come back, and they said, "You're good as gold, man." And I said, "What about all that bullshit over there?" And no, we don't know anything about that. We don't know anything about that. It's like, okay, well, my name was Mud. Now I got hung on the cross down there, and now I'm coming back from the dead. And I did. I come back from the dead. They said you can have any place you want. It's like if you do well in war, and if you do well, there was like a secret handshake where you take any assignment you want to. I said, I told the family, I said, "What do y'all want to do?" It's like, "Well, they're offering me Germany. It's an easy assignment. We can go hang out and travel there if you want to." I was burned. I'll go over there. I'll hang out, drink beer, travel around Europe, and just sort of go on the road, retired on active duty. In other words, I'm done. I'm going to do medical, get the hell out of here. And they call it the road. And I did. I basically went to the retired on active duty, not really doing a whole lot. On the way, looking to get the heck out of the Army, because at that time I was totally burned. Yeah, and I did. I got out from Germany and then moved to Texas.
Moved down to Texas. All right. Yeah. So you can find this like I'm a stalker here, but right after my time in Korea, I spent 60 days at Fort Campbell and met my unit in Afghanistan, in Kandahar, and that's where the MisFitNation comes from. The platoon I had the honor of leading there were the Misfits. And from 10 to 11, we were in Kandahar, Afghanistan. Fob Wilson, or Fob Passab, I think they named it after we left. And that's where the MisFitNation came from.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was in Kandahar just for about 6 weeks. They had readjusted things, and I went down there with my command, and we just kind of processed out of. That was a hellhole. They had the poop pond there. The place smelled of damn poop everywhere.
Yeah, we were off to the west of there, so we were off the actual air base, so we were good. We lived in a different type of hellhole.
Okay, gotcha. All righty. Wow. Okay.
So 10 and 11, I was in Kandahar. 12, I was in Kunar.
Wow. Well, our paths crossed a few times. Yeah.
That's what once you said this, oh man, this is like I'm a stalker now. I'm following everywhere. So now you're out. You're in San Antonio. What do you do in San Antonio now, besides writing books that are bestsellers?
Yeah, doing some best-selling books, working out, walking my dogs. My daughter just graduated in May from College Station in Texas, Texas A&M, and so I kind of chase after her a little bit, just check up on her and things. And but that's basically it. Exercising, managing my post-traumatic stress on a daily basis is kind of what I do in the books, and doing a lot of podcasts and things. And in the future, there will be some more books that will come out that we have. And so we got a few ideas. And so I'm probably going to be on this book thing for a little while. Yeah.
You found your passion. That's good. Tell us about your other book, the book about what to do when you get out of the military.
Yeah, so the first one was A Soldier Against All Odds, a memoir of 31 years in the military, A Soldier Against All Odds. Wild and crazy ass stories in here, no doubt. Misfit, I like the misfit. I was kind of a misfit in a way. I was kind of a misfit. Now the other book I don't have it's called Back to It. It's so new that I don't even have a copy myself, but yeah, it's Out of the Uniform, Back into Civilian Life. And what that is your benefits, how to get your money, how to get your benefits, and that you need to do it. And I try to break it down in a Southern easy style with links and things. It's a short book. It's a short read, and not necessarily, you might not want to read all of it. You might want to use it as a reference guide to what you do to get your benefits. And a lot of veterans out there like thinking, no, it's not for me because I'm going to save that money for the combat veterans. Well, that's not necessarily a good answer, because you've already served, you deserve it. And it's one of those things. It's, you're not going to save the damn money. You're not saving anybody money by not getting your benefits. They want you to do it. And so a lot of excuses out there. I do know it's difficult to get it. Sometimes a lot of people have to try again to get it. But I do think even if you come out with a 0%, you want to get your foot in there, because you don't know what happens in the future, and you can relate things back. It's more than just money. There's free trips. There's free shit. There's healthcare. There's so much stuff out there. It's almost mind-boggling. Meaning, it's not just, a lot of people think, well, yes, it is the largest healthcare organization in the world, and yes, it's hard to get. It's a bureaucratic. There's a lot of paperwork. But once you get in there, it's more than just a monthly little stipend and tax-free money that you get. There's second and third and fourth order benefits that come with it. A lot of people may not realize that.
Definitely. And I think it's a big eye opener for a lot of young veterans, especially when they come out. They think they're just kicked out. They're done with the military. Now they have nothing. And they're afraid to say I'm hurt or anything happened to me, so they don't go to the VA. But which I like now. When I got out in 2015, they weren't doing this. Now they make them coincide with their retirement physical or ETS physical. They do their VA stuff at the same time. So by the time they get out, they have their rating and everything at the same time, instead of waiting I think it was 60 days when I got out, from the time I retired to the time I had my rating. But now it's simultaneous, and it's a better, much more streamlined thing now than it was when I got out.
Yeah, you have to go through mandatory transitional assistance, and
right.
I went through that a few times and try to learn about it. And so I did personally. I did very well. I got out with 100% right out the get-go, but I did well. That doesn't normally happen. A lot of people will have to, go back and forth a few times, but no, I think you need to stick with it. That's what I think, and just stick with it and go for it. And even if it comes out with a 10% or a 0%, you're not going to affect your employment. If you want to work, right, you can work. And there's so many misconceptions. If you want to, matter of fact, I don't even like the term disabled, because it means that you can't do shit, which is that's not true. You can work and you can do other things. It's just what they have as a term is disabled veteran. But
right.
It might make your employment opportunity much higher, and it could be with the government. Yeah, so you might get a priority placement because you're disabled. I know it doesn't make sense, but it's just that's the way things work. That's just kind of how it goes. So.
It doesn't say you're not employable, unless it does. If it does say that, then that's a whole other thing. If it says you're a P,
that would be categorized as unemployability. That's a different.
Then you can have someone as your caretaker or a caregiver, and you get even two checks, one for them, one for you, and that's a whole other world when you get to that.
There's just so much out there, and then you just put the paperwork in and do it. And you may not use it now. You may not.
Right.
You may be later on, and there's a lot of veterans who say, "Well, I wish I had applied back then. It was and I didn't know about it." Well, you can now. You can do it. You can try to get in there and get your benefits, even if you didn't know about it. I understand that, because I thought the VA, I thought the veterans, I thought it was for people that were combat wounded, which is true. It's not. It's for anybody who served, really, whoever is a veteran, And the only injury I got was playing nighttime basketball, and I hurt my ankle. Well, I had a car crash. Well, as long your government property, and it may not occurred on duty. You could have been your own damn fault, but you still get your veterans benefits from the injury because it's your government property. And so, and a lot of people feel guilty. They think, well, I was in the Air Force, and I didn't do anything. And I sat on a chair all the time. No, and still, whatever happened, just go ahead and apply. And maybe you might come out with a 0, but you may have benefits in the future from that.
And that's 0. As long as you have 0, you're in the system. That's the thing that you have to understand, that you're in the system. And if it wasn't for the generation before us that served in Vietnam, who fought and came back to really nothing, and a lot of them are disgruntled with the VA, and a lot of them wouldn't go once they were told, no, you get no benefits, not service connected. Your foot was blown off, but that's not service connected. Go somewhere else and take care of that. So they were disgruntled against it. But their fight when they got into like the VFWs and other organizations helped us when we got out. And without their fight, it wouldn't be as good as it is now for us and for the next generation after us.
Yeah, definitely gotten better. I can tell you that. Not better.
100% better.
Oh, yeah.
So where's a good place for people to get in touch with you, Jason?
Yeah, you can go to my website, jasonpike.org, jasonpike.org. That's going to connect you to the two books. My two books are on Amazon. And so, yeah, you can find them there. You find them and also all my social media. I'm on LinkedIn and all the other stuff. That's at jasonpike.org. And then you can connect me there and go to that way. Yep.
He's even on TikTok. So for the younger veterans, he's on TikTok too. I don't know if he dances or just puts videos, but he's there. So
yeah, I just got a handle. I don't think I've been to TikTok too many times.
Yeah, I put snippets of the videos on here. I don't do any dancing. I did a couple of videos with me and my brother. He's my consigliere here in the chat room here. Make sure there's no riffraff in there. We worked a NASCAR race here in Nashville, and he videoed me. We put that right on TikTok so we get some more people to see what we were doing at the race for veterans.
Okay. Cool.
That'll do, but I'm not doing crazy dances and stuff. What do you think is next for you, Jason?
Next things I'm going to be doing, matter of fact, it's tomorrow. We've been working on another book having to do with what we talked about a little bit. It's going to be about toxic leadership, about abusive playing games and what to do about it and how to handle that. We talked a little bit about the federal investigation, but I kind of want to go in a little bit more. I think there are some very screwed up, jacked up leaders out there. And there's a regulation in the Army on toxic leadership, by the way, which means so I just want to go into that, tell some stories and what to do about it and to help other people in those times that they feel that they're alone and there's no way out. And I think that, and it may not just be the military. It could be corporate world, probably has some games and stuff being played. So It could be anywhere, really. It could be on the school grounds. It could be, yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, it's everywhere. No matter where you look, it's there. It's just like for you, it was the fishbowl effect. The military is fishbowl, and a lot of people in the military don't really think of the toxic leadership as at the level you were at as a lieutenant colonel. At that level, having someone above you being toxic towards you, it's usually they feel it at the lowest level where the toxic leadership is usually reported or identified in articles or IG complaints or EO complaints, stuff like that. But to have it happen to someone as senior as you is an eye opener for people from both sides, from those higher than you and those that are subordinate to you in the chain of command. So that's a big thing to put out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, we think that'll hit a good population there. So that's kind of what my next one's at. I got a few other ideas out there. I got now that I've got my creativity thing going on, I got more thoughts about what to do and what other little books, and it could be smaller books and things of that nature. So I failed the expert field medical badge. That's like the Ranger tab to the infantry. The expert field medical badge is at the time it was a 15% pass rate, and it took me 3 times to get it. I fell into shit. I almost drowned in shit getting it the first time up there on the DMZ. But I feel that I could just have how to do it. I should know how to do it. I tried to do it I got 3 times. I got it. So I thought about just doing a handy self-help guide to that for medical people. But no, there's a whole lot of little things out there I could write about and teach other people and entertain other folks, or stories from a storytelling standpoint.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. EFMB is you can tell a lot of stories from the lanes, getting on the lanes, and the 2 weeks of agony before and the 2 weeks of agony during. So a lot of people don't really look at the EFMB. They see the EIB or they see the new expert soldier stuff now, but they don't usually look at the EFMB. But I get to see it a lot here at Fort Campbell. We usually help them with stuff with my day job, and they struggle, and it's a suck fest. No matter, the only way to put it is a suck fest to do. You get your EFMB, and if you get it on True Blue the first time, good on you.
Right. Yeah. So I got that creativity, I got that passion thing going on, and the hardest book for me personally was the first one, The Soldier Against All Odds, because I had to give you my vulnerability, and I told you things that would make it would make a sailor blush with shame, and so, but I had to put it out there, and it's a success story, but it's also showing that you've done a lot of bad things, good things, but also things that were not your fault. And it's a memoir. I had to dig it up. And so that was a hard one. And now that I've got that out there and I've talked about it, These other things, they seem easy to me. These things, other ideas I've got, they seem so much easier than through that first book. So that's kind of where I'm going. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Outstanding. And Jason, if you could give 3 tips to the young men or women that are about to get out of the military, what would that be?
Oh, well, if you're getting out of the military, you need to maximize that damn transitional program. I know you might think it sucks. It's a bunch of PowerPoint slides and things of that nature. Go through it 2 or 3 different times. Start planning your future out of them. You might have a sergeant, hard-ass sergeant or officer. Do it. Try to do it. I mean, what are they going to do? Kick you out? I mean, you're getting out anyway. So try to maximize that transitional program once you're getting out. It could be, you have resume writing, you've got budgeting skills, we talked about the VA and things of that nature, but there's a lot of little nuggets in there. And you might want to go a few different times. I went there a few different times, and just like any other job, you might get out and not know what you're going to do. Like me, I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. I'd been in the Army for 31 damn years. So I had to play around. I had to look around, see what I liked and my passion. It may take some time to do that. But show up like anything else. Show up at the right place at the right time with the right attitude, and you'll be better. You'll be doing better than most, even if you don't know a damn thing. Right time, right place, right attitude, and just go for it. And I didn't know how to write a damn book. I didn't know how to market a book. Now I do. So I failed English. So so just kind of go for it. If you make some mistakes, you can learn from them. I've definitely learned a lot doing these books and stuff. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. Thanks for those tips. Thanks for sharing your story. And I'm glad you fought through it and you're here to share that with us and share that with the next generation so the same thing doesn't happen to them. And your next book will hopefully open the eyes of many to see what actually goes on and how they can deal with it and get away from it.
Hey, you're welcome, Rich. I was honored to be on your show, and we'll stay in touch.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Did you serve in the military? If so, you can obtain a free lifetime pass to more than 2,000 federal recreation sites. These sites
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the MisFitNation. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all of our past episodes and get some of that great MisFitNation gear. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are